Hello everybody, video here for you today. This is the retro no cap recap of The Curse of Oak Island season 6 episode 17, originally aired in March of 2019. If you missed my recaps of previous and future episodes, there's a link to my Oak Island playlist in the upper right. Let's get into it. Previously on The Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 229 years. Rick meets with Laird, Gary, and other members of the team in Smith's Cove. He says that the current priority is removal of this piece. Laird is going to fully document the slipway, then it will be dismantled so they can excavate under it. Rick tells Billy to get the spoils to the wash plant as quickly as possible. Rick says, Gary, you and Jack are gonna? He pauses for a second and then says, find something today. Leaving Laird and Billy in Smith's Cove, Rick, Jack, and Gary join Marty, Surveyor Steve Guptill, and other members of the team in the war room. Steve was hired to combine all of the available money pit data into one map. This is the drilling data. Dave Blankenship says it looks like spaghetti. Steve combined that with all of the surveys, including Fred Nolan's. And this is the result. Since the soil around the H8 caisson collapsed, making it too dangerous to continue excavating, the team has turned their attention to a known path to the original money pit. Shaft 6, shown at the bottom here, from which a tunnel that leads to the money pit was dug. Searchers were hoping to avoid the flood tunnels by doing that, but they didn't. The tunnel and shaft both flooded, and then a short time later, both the money pit and shaft 6 collapsed. Rick thinks the collapses would have caused a debris field below, filled with scattered cribbing wood and treasure. A paper map is put on the war room table, and Marty says Rick should have the honor of putting his finger on the spot. Rick says everyone should, but Marty insists. So he does. Gary and Jack return to Smith's Cove, and Jack helps Laird with removing some of the logs until Gary gets a hit with his metal detector. And they do find something today. It's this clump of iron. It's dug up from about 1 foot down, but before the dam and the excavating, it would have been several feet under the bay floor, not to mention the water. Next, Gary finds what he thinks is a silver coin, a Spanish $1 which would have originally looked like this. These coins were common among Spanish and Portuguese pirates known to frequent the islands off Nova Scotia as early as the 1500s. This is a better shot of the coin. It has a milled edge, which means it's 1730s or older, being a Spanish coin. Milled edges began in England as an easy way to tell if any of the metal had been shaved off of the coin. In the money pit area, rock equipment moves the 35-ton bridge on top of the orange stake marked Shaft 6 target. The bridge will serve as a stabilizing platform from which the caisson will be oscillated into the earth. The slipway and most of the other structures have been removed from Smith's Cove. While the team is still awaiting permits to dig, a deep magnetometer scan will be done. They are especially interested in the crane pad area, which is right behind the spot that red dye from the money pit area seeped out of. Mike West, a geophysicist, detected 5 areas with metal and marked them with pink flags. His detector can find metal up to 20 feet under the surface. The highest reading was a spot right below the crane pad. Back in the money pit area, this animation shows exactly where they hope they are, between shaft 6 and the original money pit shaft, so that the caisson will intersect the tunnel that should, due to the 1861 collapse of both shafts, be filled with evidence of both, and hopefully artifacts. The caisson is down 82 feet and the hammer grab is excavating at 78 feet. Vanessa tells Marty. Doug says they are getting a lot of wood and are hoping that it's chapel shaft timbers that fell into the Dunfield dig. A little over 100 feet down, the caisson cuts through something hard and then the pressure lessens, which is what should happen when going through the top of a reinforced tunnel. This wood is also what you would expect to see as the top of a tunnel. Without circular saw marks, it's likely hundreds of years old. In the spoils from the next hammer grab, there's a lot of splintered wood, which you would also expect to see from a collapsed shaft. But among those, Rick finds this piece of leather. From 110 feet, the hammer grab brings up this axe-cut wood. This would be below the reported depth of the shaft 6 tunnel, so it's confusing. The next grab contains this oak timber. These pieces of wood that are being brought up are embedded in chunks of till, which would indicate structurally supporting something, Terry says. Later, Rick says that the bottom of the original money pit was never explored because it was never reached. Gary says the timbers remind him of ship timbers he's seen on beaches after hurricanes. One of the prevalent theories is that the money pit was built with repurposed timbers from a dismantled ship. In the spoils from S6, Jack finds a piece of iron chain, and Doug finds this possible bone. Bones were found 10 feet away in H8 that were determined to come from Europe and Middle Eastern descent individuals respectively. I'll be continuing retro no-cap recaps of seasons 6 through 8 during the summer and early fall. All of the other episodes are already done and are in my Oak Island playlist. I'm also doing no-cap recaps of the current season of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, which has its own playlist, and I'll eventually start doing retro no-cap recaps of season 1 through 4 of that series. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Sempre avanti.